All right, so we all know containers have totally changed the game for building and shipping software. But here's the thing. Once you've built that perfect portable container, what's next? Where does it go? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. We are diving deep into Docker Hub, the world's largest container image repository and pretty much the beating heart of the entire container ecosystem. Okay, so picture this. You've done all the hard work. Your application is perfectly packaged up. All its dependencies are in there. It's beautiful. But then what? Seriously, how do you get it to your team? How do you deploy it to the cloud? And how do you manage all the different versions without just losing your mind? It's a problem every single developer runs into. And the answer, my friends, is Docker Hub. Now, the easiest way to wrap your head around it, just think of GitHub. You know it, you probably use it every day. Well, Docker Hub is basically GitHub, but for your container images. Instead of your source code, it's a big cloud-based home for everything you build. And man, this before and after really tells the story. In the old days, and I'm not talking that long ago, we were literally passing around these huge tar files. It was slow, it was clunky, and honestly, it was a total nightmare for version control. Docker Hub just swept all that away. It gave us one central place in the cloud, simple push and pull commands, and tags that actually make sense. A total game changer. Okay, so to really unlock what Docker Hub can do for you, we got to get into the nuts and bolts. It's not complicated, really. It all boils down to a few core ideas: repositories, images, and tags. Let's dig in and see what they're all about.
This table breaks it down nicely. Think of a repository as just a folder for a single app, right? Let's say you have a web app. All the different versions of that web app live in that one repository. The images are the actual snapshots of your app at a certain moment. They're immutable, which is super important. And how do you tell them apart? With tags. They're just simple, easy-to-read labels like version 1.25 or, latest. And then you've got organizations, which is just a way to manage all this stuff for your entire team.
And this is where things get really, really clever. A Docker image isn't just one giant blob. Nope. It's built in layers, kind of like a cake. You start with a base, maybe Ubuntu. Then you add a layer for your dependencies, like Python, then your own app code. And here's the magic trick. Docker Hub is smart enough to know that if 10 of your images use that same Ubuntu base layer, it only stores it once. I mean, think about the savings in disk space and bandwidth. It's incredible.
So where do you even start? Where do you get these base layers? Sure, you could build everything from scratch, but why would you? For all the common stuff, Docker Hub has you covered with trusted sources. You've got official images. These are the gold standard, curated and security scanned by the Docker team themselves. Think Nginx, MySQL, the big ones. Then you've got verified publisher images. These come straight from the companies that make the software, like Microsoft or Oracle. Using these is a huge first step to building something secure and reliable.
Okay, so storing images is useful, for sure, but that's just scratching the surface. The real power of Docker Hub, the thing that will change your workflow, is when it becomes an active part of your CI/CD pipeline. Let's look at how it turns into your own personal automated image factory. This right here, this workflow is an absolute game changer. You just link your GitHub or Bitbucket repo straight to Docker Hub. Then, the moment a developer pushes new code, boom, a trigger goes off. Docker Hub wakes up, pulls that new code, builds a brand new image from your Docker file, and pushes it right into your repository, all automatically. Say goodbye to ever typing Docker build and Docker push manually again. Seriously. And it doesn't even stop there. The automation goes even further. Once that new image is ready, Docker Hub can shout out to your other tools using something called a webhook. It's just a simple notification, but it's so powerful. That one little ping can tell your Kubernetes cluster to start a new deployment, or it can signal Jenkins to kick off the next phase of testing, or maybe just update a status dashboard. It's the glue that connects everything in your DevOps world.
All right, so we're moving fast, we're automating everything, which is awesome. But it also means security is more important than ever. We've got to make sure only the right people can push images, and more importantly, that the images themselves are safe and haven't been messed with. And that's exactly where Docker Hub security features shine.
First up, you've got vulnerability scanning built right in, powered by Snyk. This thing is amazing. It digs through every single layer of your image and checks it against a massive database of known security issues, CVEs. Then it hands you this super clear report showing you any problems, how severe they are, and often exactly how to fix them. This is how you catch security nightmares before they ever get in your production.
Okay, so scanning for known bugs is one thing, but what about this? How do you know the image you're about to pull is actually the real deal? How do you know it hasn't been tampered with on its journey to you? Well, that's what Docker Content Trust, or DCT, is all about. It uses digital signatures to give you that peace of mind. When you turn it on, Docker will refuse to run an image unless it has a valid signature, guaranteeing its authenticity. It's a critical layer of security.
And of course, when you're working with a team, you can't have everyone having God mode access. You need control. Docker Hub handles this with what's called role-based access control. It's super simple. You can make someone a developer so they can push and pull images but not mess with the repository settings. Or maybe someone on the QA team is just a viewer. They can pull images to test, but they can't push anything. It's all about giving people just the permissions they need. Okay, we've covered the core concepts and the cool automation features. So now let's bring it all together. Let's talk about the best practices that'll have you using Docker Hub like a total pro. So you might be wondering, why Docker Hub over something else? And that's a fair question. Look, cloud registries like Amazon's ECR are great, but they're often walled off and private only. What really makes Docker Hub stand out, especially for developers, is its huge public repository, those awesome built-in automated builds we talked about, and let's be honest, its legendary ease of use. It's just so easy to get started. So here are your do's, your checklist for success. Number 1, please use specific version tags like 1.1.0. The latest tag is a recipe for disaster in production, always. 2, enable vulnerability scanning on everything, no excuses. 3, if it's proprietary code, put it in a private repository. 4, automate your builds, hook it up to GitHub. And 5, use teams and permissions to keep things organized and secure. And now for the don'ts, the things to avoid at all costs. Don't just grab a random image from the public hub and throw it into production without scanning it first. That's just asking for trouble. We've said it before, I'll say it again. Do not rely on the latest tag for anything important. And this is a big one. Don't hard-code your passwords or tokens in your CI/CD scripts. Use secrets management and make sure you rotate those access tokens regularly. So why do we trust it so much? Well, look at the scale of this thing. We're talking billions, with a B. Billions of image pulls every single month. That's just a staggering number. And the only way it can handle that kind of load is with a massive global content delivery network, a CDN. It means that whether you're pulling an image in New York or Tokyo, it's being served from a server nearby, making it super fast and incredibly reliable. You know, this quote just hits the nail on the head. We live in a world driven by continuous delivery, right? And in that world, Docker Hub is the essential meeting point. It's the bridge between a great idea on a developer's machine and that idea running live in the cloud. It's where innovation truly meets deployment. So we've gone through it all. The core ideas, the killer automation, the crucial security features. Now the question is really for you. Think about it. From locking down your software supply chain to building a completely hands-off deployment pipeline, how are you going to use Docker Hub to bring your next project to life?